Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Sydney. I film beauty videos 3 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Today's video is one that I'm very excited about because it's actually a tag. I believe it's a tag created by my friend Alexandria. Her channel is Eyes of Alexandria, I believe. I will link her channel below along with the original tag video. And the premise of this tag was that she wanted to create her makeup collection as if she had nothing, but she only wanted to create it based off of other people's recommendations, so they couldn't be products that she'd already tried. And I thought this was a really fascinating concept because I think I've done like the type of video before where you recreate your makeup collection or like you only choose one, and I kind of have answers in my head for that. But if I had to totally start from scratch and only buy things based off of others' recommendations, I would choose differently. And some of these categories were really hard because I'm very much like, I know what I like, I've tried what I like, and I have like things that I know this would work for me if I had to totally start over. But this was a really fun, kind of refreshing take on that, and I just thought it was a brilliant idea. She did hers themed around like Sephora. I think she might bounce around to different like makeup retailers. But I just kind of went all over the place, honestly, you guys. I had so much fun with this tag. She didn't really say in her video whether price was a factor in this or like availability. So I just kind of went crazy and I pretended that money didn't matter, and I picked a lot of products that I probably won't get a chance to try because of the price tag. And yeah, so without further ado, I will stop babbling and we will get into it. So I have to tell you guys before we get into it, I probably should have said this in the intro, but I saw like the thumbnail and I think Alexandria posted something on her Instagram story kind of explaining what this video would be about, and I was like, oh yes, before I even watched it I knew I wanted to do my own version of it, so I kind of created a list. I did it while I was at work. It was a really slow day. And here was my original list, and then I actually watched the video. And when I was making my original list, I was kind of just choosing things that were like my essentials, things that I knew I would absolutely need. But then Alexandria picked like a lot of items, like stuff that wasn't maybe completely necessary. She wasn't really thinking like, oh, like this could double for this or this would work in this way. So here was my second list. I wrote down a lot more products and I'm really excited to get into it. We're just gonna kind of go in the way that I would apply things. I'm starting from primer, not eyeshadow like I normally do. But I'm gonna stop blabbering and let's get into it. So the primer that I would choose is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I just really want to try this primer, honestly. There are quite a few products in this list that are just things that I would really like to try. I've heard amazing things about this primer and it sounds like it would really increase the wear of my foundation, which is something that I feel like is good with any foundation that you want to pair with it or any product that you want to pair with it. So that one is definitely on my list. For foundation, I said that I wanted to try the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. Shockingly, I haven't tried this, but I really wanted to get this one because I feel like this is a product that can either look super natural or it can be more full coverage and you could mattify it, make it look a little bit more full glam. So I really wanted a product that would kind of do the range for me, and I think this would be great for it. For a corrector, because I feel like a corrector is essential in my everyday life. I have pretty bad dark circles. Well, not pretty bad. I feel like I'm just super pale, so I look kind of dead when I have dark circles. So a corrector is an essential step in my makeup routine. And for that one, I chose the... Oh geez, I need to scooch over. I'm sorry if I've been putting like pictures on my face. I forgot to scoot over. But for a corrector, I chose the Bobbi Brown corrector in Bisque. I've been hearing Emily Noel 83 rave about this corrector for years and years, but I've never tried it. So I'd really like to give that one a shot. As far as concealer goes, I don't know. I hemmed and hawed about this one a little bit because I feel like sometimes concealers that are good for my under eyes really aren't great for the rest of my face. So the one that I landed on was the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer because I feel like I've heard people say that this is great all over the face or just under the eyes. And I would really just love to try it. I've heard amazing things about it for so long. And yeah, a lot of the stuff was kind of like my wish list stuff that I'll never get to try, but I thought it would be fun to include in this video. So for pressed powder, I went with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Setting Powder. So I've heard Jessica Braun rave about this. I think Andrea Matalano too. Rave about this powder for so long. So it's my understanding that this powder does have some coverage in it. So I thought that could pair really nicely with the CC cream to kind of amp up the coverage, make it a little bit more full glam. Or also just serve for other purposes like cleaning up contour or setting my under eyes if I need a little extra coverage. For loose powder, I chose the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. I know this is like a cult classic product, but I still have not tried it. I'm kind of think about buying a mini size, but we'll have to see. But I've heard incredible things about this powder for years. I feel like it's something that's been on the market for a really long time, but it's still really, really highly raved about. So I would really love to test this one out and add it to my collection. So for cream bronzer, I chose the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer. I just have heard people raving about this a lot in the past couple of months, and I've really gotten into creams the past couple of months, so I think this would be a really awesome product to add to my collection. Plus, I've heard that this works well with makeup or if you want to just put it on bare skin, and I'm all about that right now. For powder bronzer, I don't know. This one I wasn't super duper excited about. I was more excited about the cream bronzer category. But for this one, I put the Balm Take Home the Bronze Bronzer. I've heard Andrea Matalano raving about this lately, and I do know that the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer stick is more of a warm tone, and I believe the Take Home the Bronze Bronzer from the Balm is more of a cool tone, so I thought that would kind of cancel each other out and offer me two different tones of bronzer, if that makes any sense. So I did throw a contour item in here, and I chose the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. I heard Jessica Braun talking about this again. I just love her, you guys. I trust all of her recommendations, like, explicitly. But anyways, she was raving about this a couple months ago, and it just looks so beautiful on the skin. She just like did 3 little dots, blended it out with her fingers, I think. I don't think she even used a sponge, and it just looked like the most beautiful natural shadow, which is really what I like to go for. I don't tend to do like really heavy contouring. It's really not my thing. So I think this would fit really well into my makeup style. Okay, so for cream blush, I feel like I'm cheating with this one because it's a palette that I want to say for this one, but yeah, I'm definitely cheating with this one, but I'm going to do it anyways because it's my hypothetical makeup collection. But for this one, I'm going to say the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. This one has 2 tones of cream blush in it, as well as a blush and a highlighter, but I really just want it for the cream blush. This is a product that I have been wanting for so long. I've seen several of my favorite YouTubers, lots of my favorite Instagrammers raving about this little palette, and I even did a video on my channel talking all about how, like, I don't need it. I tried to talk myself out of it. I'll link that down below if you guys are trying to do the same thing, because believe me, it is not easy. That thing is beautiful. But yeah, I would really love to try those cream blushes, and I feel like that's cheating, but I'm gonna throw it in there anyways. Ooh, for blush, for like just regular powder blush, this one might be cheating too because it's also a palette, but I am dying to try that NARS Exposed Cheek Palette. I think it is so stunning, you guys. I've heard nothing but amazing things about the textures. I went and swatched it in stores, and it's just so softly pigmented, and it gives the prettiest sheen to your skin. It's not quite as intense as what I have on today, but it's just, oh, it's so pretty, and I want it so bad. For cream highlighter, I chose the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Face Filter. As you can see, we're throwing a lot of Charlotte Tilbury in here because, I mean, this is my hypothetical makeup collection. If I had to start over with nothing and money wasn't an option, I might try these kind of bougie products. But again, I've heard nothing but incredible things about this. Realistically, I'll probably try the Milani version that's supposed to be a dupe for this, but I think this is stunning. It's supposed to be a very soft cream highlighter, and I also thought with this one I could mix it with my foundation or use it under foundation. This product is very multifunctional, so I thought that would also be another great reason to add it into the collection. For my regular highlighter, this one I didn't really think about too much. I was just kind of like scrolling through Sephora and I'm like, oh, this one looks pretty. So I chose the Marc Jacobs Glaze All Over Foil Luminizer from the Runway collection. So Jamie Page recently mentioned this in one of her videos, and the glow, you guys, is stunning. It's absolutely stunning. This is kind of a brighter highlighter. I think it would look really nice with my fair skin, and it just makes your skin look like so glossy and wet, and I want it so bad. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Plus, I thought it would be nice to have kind of the softer highlighter option with the cream highlighter and then something more intense with the powder highlighter. So for brows, I was going to do like each individual brow product, but honestly, you guys, I feel like I'm still figuring out my brows. I'm really not sure what my favorite method of brow application is, like a pencil, a pomade, or something like that. So I threw in the ColourPop Brow Kit. I believe this comes with a pencil, maybe 2 pencils. At least 1 pencil, a pomade, and a brow gel. So I thought that was a really nice little combo set that I could snatch up. This one is something that I'm probably actually going to buy in the next maybe month or two because I'm almost out of my NYX Tame and Frame brow pomade and I'd really like to try like a brow pencil. I have tried brow pencils in the past, but they're not the right shade for me. So I want to try something that is the correct shade for me and see how I like it. Next, we're going to talk about eye primer, and I chose the Smashbox Photo Focus Lid Primer. I know at one point they had tinted versions of these, and I, like, in my head, I chose it because it was tinted and because the formula is supposed to be really great for oily eyelids. But I've heard Casey Holmes rave about this primer for years and years, and she also has pretty oily eyelids, so I thought it would be a great one to throw in here. Plus, I thought the tint would be nice because I do have kind of pigmented eyelids. Well, not pigmented, but I have like veins on my eyelids that make eyeshadow look kind of patchy if I don't cover them up. Oh my goodness, you guys. Now we're on to eyeshadow palettes, and this was so hard for me. I am an eyeshadow junkie, you guys. Eyeshadow is definitely the thing that I own the most of in my collection. It's the thing I have the hardest time talking myself out of. And choosing one palette to have was really, really difficult, and I'm not even like 110% happy with my choice, which I'll explain why in a minute. But I wanted to talk about some options that I considered. At first, I considered the Natasha Denona Gold palette because I adore those tones, and I feel like maybe a year and a half ago, I would have chosen that and been totally fine, been good with that, and it has all the pops color that I want. But recently, I've gotten a little bit more creative, and I've dipped my toe into the colorful waters. And I feel like now I wouldn't, like if that was my only palette, I might get bored. It's not really feeding my creative makeup monster. It's not making my creative makeup juices flow. So then I also considered the Natasha Denona Safari palette, but I really like metallic shadows, so that one wasn't gonna work for me. I also considered the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. That one has a really nice range of shimmer shades, matte shades, colorful shades, neutral shades, but ultimately, I decided that I would buy the James Charles Morphe palette. I know some questionable allegations have come out against James Charles, but we're gonna pretend like that's not happening in my pretend makeup world. We're just looking at the makeup here, not the person behind it. But I chose this palette because it has a great range of neutrals and colorful shades. I feel like if this was my only palette, I wouldn't be that bored. Like, I think I'm just an eyeshadow hoarder at heart, and I want to have a lot of palettes. But I think this one would keep me happy with my neutrals and some more colorful shades for when I want to experiment with something new. Ooh, for cream shadow, this one I don't know. I looked through the cream shadows on Sephora and Ulta, and I was feeling kind of meh until I remembered that Kathleen Light recommended the Hourglass Scattered Light eye toppers like months and months ago on her channel, and how beautiful and like sparsely glittery they were. Oh, those look absolutely stunning, you guys, and I would really, really love to add that to my collection because you guys know I'm all about the glitter. I was looking at this list and I'm like, I don't have anything glittery in here. That needs to change. So I threw that on there. I'd probably get it in like a champagne-y, rose goldy shade because I feel like that's the glitter that I tend to use the most. So now we're going to go into liner, and while I don't use liner that often, I did want to give myself a couple options. For pencil liner, I went with the Marc Jacobs Highliner. I've been hearing incredible things about these liners for so many years, but I don't think I would get like a black or a brown. I might get like a nude or maybe kind of a fun colorful shade because I really don't put eyeliner on my upper lash line too often, and occasionally, like very rarely, will I pop it in my waterline. So I thought maybe a fun color would be fun in that one because I know those are super duper budge proof. For liquid liner, honestly, I just want to try the ColourPop liquid liners. They're super affordable, and I've heard really, really amazing things about the formula from lots of different people. I did include a mascara primer on here just because I didn't include falsies because I don't know. I reach for falsies occasionally, but I just feel like if I was starting from scratch, they're not really something that I would think to add to my collection right away. So for the mascara primer, I chose the Estee Lauder Little Black Primer. Emily Noel has been raving about this primer for so many years, and honestly, I put it on my Christmas list for, I swear, like 3 years in a row, but no one ever bought it for me. But I would really like to have this to really amp up my lashes, even though the mascara that I'm going to mention in a second may not need it. So the mascara that I choose was the Lancome Monsieur Big mascara. I swear, everyone that tried this mascara loved it. Well, maybe not loved it. I feel like some people thought maybe it was a little bit too clumpy, but I know that Kathleen Lights, Rach Loves, maybe even Emily Noel 83 said that this was a really, really great mascara. I love big over-the-top lashes, and I think this would give it to me without falsies. So now we're on to lip products. So I chose 5 different lip products. So the first one I just chose like a regular old lipstick, and I chose Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. I believe Jessica Braun recommended this one, or maybe Jamie Page, I can't remember, but it's just a beautiful like everyday color, and honestly these are the lipsticks that I reach for the most, so I thought, why don't we get a nice formula in it and some really gorgeous packaging. For lip liner, I went with the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk liner. Again, something really neutral, really easy to wear with lots of different lip colors. I tend to reach for my neutral lip liners over like my reds and my berries and my pink lip liners. So yeah, I really wanted to include that one. Oh, for gloss, I chose the Fenty Gloss Bomb. I think I would just get the original shade. Yeah, I think I would just get the original shade. I really like kind of those warm, muted tawny rose shades for my lips for like an everyday basis. I've heard incredible things about the Gloss Bomb formula from many people, from Jessica Braun, from Jamie Page. The list goes on and on. I feel like everyone loves that gloss. And for the liquid lip, I really debated on whether even including one of these, because I'm really over liquid lips, you guys. But then I was thinking, I'm like, well, you know what, I don't really have any bold lip options, so why don't we get a liquid lip, a formula that's really going to stay put on the lips, and put that on here. So I decided to choose the Fenty Stunna Lip Paint. I don't know if I would get the red or if I would get the coral shade that they just released, because I think they're both absolutely stunning. I feel like the red might be a little bit more versatile, but I love that coral shade, you guys. I think it's stunning. So the final lip product that I wanted to include was a balm, because I use balm every single day. It's definitely something I would replace in my collection if it ever went away for some reason. And the balm that I chose was the Laneige Glowy Lip Balm. This has been blowing up all over social media lately. Allie Glines is the last person that I saw to recommend it, but I'm a sucker for good smelling lip balms. And there's this shade or scent. Oh, what is it? I think it's peach. Peaches are one of my absolute favorite fruits, and I want that scent so bad. It has a really pretty glossy appearance on the lips, so it would wear really well during the daytime. You could even like add it on top of a lip balm, or not a lip balm, on top of a lip liner or a lipstick for a little bit of added moisture. And then finally, for setting spray, I decided to choose the Farsali 24 Karat Gold setting spray. This was another category where I was just kind of like about, because while I've never owned the Urban Decay setting spray, I have used someone else's, so I couldn't really include that one. But I also wanted to include a setting spray that was really going to melt everything down, make my makeup look really natural and very skin-like. So I ended up on that one. Allie Glines recommended that one in like a get ready with me on her channel, I think, a couple weeks ago. And I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I've not tried anything from Farsali, so I would be interested to see how that brand is. So that actually wraps up my picks, you guys. Did you find this fun? Are you going to do this? If you don't have a YouTube channel or Instagram, do it down below. If you guys have a YouTube or an Instagram, I'm tagging you right now. But that wraps up my picks. Thank you so much, Alexandria, for coming up with such an amazing idea for a tag. I think this is genius, and I had so much fun doing it. It was kind of like shopping my wish list of products that I want, but probably will never buy. Yeah, that's it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!